Let's get started. Shift your weight to one leg. We'll start with some pretty easy leg swings. So our class today will be balancing yin and yang. So we'll start with some warm-ups where we'll do sort of a yang version and then a yin version. And then we'll do movements that kind of balance yin and yang. So starting to feel into your hips and maybe flexing and pointing your feet and also your wrists. Doing a dynamic warm up, feeling into your body of how much effort, realizing that yin and yang is all about relationships, right? So yin relative to yang. So for your yin and your yang, choose your yang movement for these hip swings. Now swing your leg back. Shift your weight to your front leg and bend your front leg. Excuse me. And then just with a very yin stretch out your calves, your hip flexors. And then shift your weight so that your toes, you can just stretch that spot where your toes meet your foot. And then lift up and put the tops of your toes stretching the front of your foot. And go back. So shift to the other leg. So we start just the yin version of the leg swing and then feeling in to your body right now. Kind of explore what happens when you shift to a more yang, a more active version. Maybe flexing, pointing your wrists and your ankles. Really listening to your body today. And then swing your leg back, shift your weight, your front leg, and just stretch. Very passive, and in comparison, very yin stretch compared to the yang that we were just doing. Yin and Yang is such a fun way to sort of a lens to look at the world, right? And you can look at this lens and really do a deep dive, or just something superficial where, the first concept was looking at a hillside and it's light, but by the afternoon that same hillside is dark. And we wouldn't have that light without the dark, or the dark without the light. And then our challenge is that balance. So then stretch right under your toes. And so today our focus will be finding that balance between the yin and the yang, stretching the top of your foot, and then the arch. And then start to do a side. Don't do this one very often. Kind of goofy, right? Stretching out the side of your legs and inside. Again, for whatever your yin, maybe it's a very small movement. And just play with what happens if you become a little more yang in relationship. And then back. And then swing your foot in front and do a side bend the other direction. So complementing that yang dynamic stretch with a very yin. And we'll go to the other side. So kind of finding your balance. Realizing that balance is pretty dynamic as well, right? It's always those little micro shifts. And then just releasing your shoulders and your hips. Noticing how your knees and your hips, your ankles and your ribs all play into this movement as you do sideways leg swings. And then swing your leg in front and just enjoy the yin complement to that yang movement. And then release. And then imagine you have like a little boulder and you're just going to step over it. We'll start kind of yin, keeping your weight on your rooted leg, and then little by little, expanding the movement to step over the boulder, listening to your hips. It feels right. Let's do one more. So starting with a yin version, where you're stepping over a little tiny boulder, keeping your leg rooted. Just never shifting your weight, just keeping your weight rooted in your standing leg, letting the movement come from your hips. And what happens if you actually keep looking forward? So your hips are getting all of that movement. And then playing with kind of in relationship to what you were doing, how yang of a movement feels right. And let's do one more. And then the complement to that pretty yang movement is with your legs wide, hands on your thighs. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, drop one shoulder towards the earth, inviting your tailbone to soften. Pushing whatever way you're twisting, have your opposite hand gently push on the inside of your thigh. And we'll do more of a passive yin stretch. And then come to center, we'll switch. And just noticing what happens when you just invite your tailbone to just drop like an antenna, connecting you to the earth. Invite your feet to sink, connecting you like roots to the earth. And another little twist. And then straightening your toes forward. Let's just do a forward fold. And then with a little bend to your knees, grab the back of one wrist and inhale up. And open your hips as you look back, tightening your glutes, and then exhale down. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Obviously, maybe choosing a much more yin version. Maybe you don't go over very far, depending on your flexibility. And then playing with your more yang version of this movement. Finding your own balance. And then put your arms down. Close your eyes and just drop your awareness inside your feet. Almost like you're inhabiting. You are inhabiting your feet. And invite roots from the middle of your feet to find their way through the floor to the heart of the earth. Rooting you, grounding you. Invite your tailbone and just drop gently. Invite your shoulders to just relax. Your chest to soften. And then the slight lift from the very top of your head, connecting you to the heavens. As you root and sink, connecting to that relative yin energy of the earth relative to you. The crown of your head connects to the relative yang energy of the heavens and the universe. And take a slow, deep breath. And then release. And take another slow, soft, steady breath in. And release. And then with your feet a little wider, start with some hip circles. What we're going to do is we're going to do hip circles with a yin-yang twist. So find the circle size. It feels just right for today. Maybe you're tracing your circle right inside your feet, or maybe right on the outside of your feet. And whichever way you're going, keep the yin-yang symbol in your brain. And think about that edge, the edge between the light and the dark. We're going to use that edge to help us shift direction. So here it comes. So now trace the inside, and now we're going the other way. So yin yang circles. Maybe you notice going this way feels better to make your circles just a little smaller, maybe a little bigger. But invite your circles to be smooth and steady. And then bring that yin yang symbol back in your brain. Picture that kind of swoop, that edge between the light and the dark. And then swoop and go the other way. Then play around with how many circles to do before you yin yang your way back. Just kind of tune in. Maybe if you do it too quickly, you'll kind of feel it. You go, not enough. I'm going to sort of play with what happens if every other one switch. Feels a little jarring. So I'm going to do a couple more. So let's choose your number and then find that edge of the yin yang in between the light and the dark, or the soft and the hard, or the cool and the hot. Realizing there's no yin without yang, no yang without yin. It's all relative. But it really helps as we cultivate balance in our bodies and our lives and slow it down. We're going to try the same thing, but this time with our head. So imagine your nose is on a plane of glass and trace a circle right in front of you, like your nose is on that glass. Find a size circle that feels comfortable but maybe a little interesting, meaning not at the very edge of your mobility today. And then once you find your circle and it feels smooth and steady, let's go back the other way, tracing that inside edge between the black and the white, or the yin and yang symbol, playing around with it. First, inviting your circle to be smooth and steady, and then switch. And I've got one more. I had fun kind of coming up with these. So this one, tuck your chin and release, right? Tuck it and release. Chin tucks are such a great way to remind us to have that head forward posture that I have all the time. It contributes to neck and shoulder tension and headaches. So tuck. Now this time with your chin parallel, you're going to almost like you're trace a circle, but this time with the bottom of your chin, right? So hopefully invite most of your body to be stable. And your head is actually, crown of your head is parallel. I guess if you think about it, the crown of your head is also kind of tracing a circle in front of you. And then when you're ready, yin yang your way back a different direction. So tuck, release, finding that smooth, steady circle. And then find that swoop that separates the yin from the yang. And then swoop the other way. And then release. And then shifting one leg in front of the other. Shifting your weight to your front leg. Shake out your arm. Lift your shoulder up to your ear as you rotate towards your back. And do a little circle. Thinking about those smooth and steady. And then moving your whole body as one continuous unit, which it is, but so often we forget. So let your pinky toes help you move with slow, steady, fluid movements. And then shift. So shifting your weight to your front leg, shake out. Lift your elbow toward your ear as you rotate toward your back leg. And then shift to the front and release your shoulder with your breathing. Inhale. And exhale as you shift your weight forward. Inviting fluidity in your shoulders, in your hips, all through your ribs. And then however you're moving, play around with either doing the movement in a more yin way or a more yang way. And just notice how that feels, how the change. And notice if that's like, yeah. Or like, no, gotta go back the other way. And then, so I'm gonna soften. I'm gonna do, for me, what's gonna be a more yin version. And then I'm gonna explore what happens if I do it with more kind of intensity and relatively more yang. And let's do one more. And then slow it down. Just turn your awareness deep inside your body. And just notice. Then bringing your hands to your heart. Push with your right hand. And then look over the opposite shoulder. Now push with a lot of yangness, right? Push out through your palms. Now, as if you're touching the horizon, come touch the horizon, come all the way to the front. Now look at your front hand and now soften. So go the other way. So you're going to push, looking over the other shoulder, pushing out through your palm, your fingers. Now, as if you can touch the horizon, come in front. Look at your back of your hand and soften. So take a breath in. Exhale as you rotate. Inhale as you come to center. And then exhale as you soften. So taking a breath in. Exhale. Come forward. And soften. Let's do one more to each side. Pushing that very yang version. And then release. We'll do one more. Push. Trace out to the horizon. And relax. And then standing with your feet pretty wide. I'm going to do mixing yin and yang. So with your hands in front of you, glide your hips back. Now bend your knees. Cross your wrists as you tuck and roll. So here's your most yin, right? So you're going to roll up, float your arms overhead, and then come out in a sumo squat in your most yang. So then we'll do that whole movement. So they're breathing, take a breath in. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale as you bend your knees, tuck, roll in, and then exhale. Mixing the yin as we curl in our bodies as most yin, and then complement it with the most expansive and yang. So folding forward, bending your knees as they come out over your toes. Tuck as you roll and out. Let's do one more. Now shifting your weight to your right leg, lift your opposite foot. Well, this is another mixing yin and yang. It's a beautiful movement. I do it if I'm kind of agitated and I want to kind of encourage more yin energy to help me sleep better. So take a breath in as you shift your weight. Float your arm up. So whatever side you're shifted to, the other's lifted with both your heel and your arm. So inhale up. And exhale as you roll your foot down. And your intention is to imagine energy on one side where your weight is. And now let your energy shift to the other side. So mix. Balancing. And then do it with slowness and softness. As you shift your weight, play with what happens. Now you're ready to go to the next side, right? push, root and push. Right? So that movement, let it come from your connection with earth as you push. So push as it shifts. Just notice how moving by pushing, rooting. Just notice how that feels. And I will slowly shift till I can find a board that's not as squeaky as others. All right, now we're going to continue this movement, but this time, whatever leg your weight's not on, which is called our empty leg, pull from that side. So let your empty leg pull you over. It's very subtle, right? It's a different outcome from that movement, right? So inhale, and then exhale, letting your empty leg invite your body back. I'm only moving around to find the quietness of my floor. Now, think about that rooting and pushing and the pulling of the empty leg together. See what happens if you push and pull at the same time. So pushing off and pushing off from your weighted leg while your empty leg pulls you. When I do this, I'm feeling more cohesive from my bottoms of my feet to the tops of my head. And then slow it down. And then shifting your weight to your right leg. Your stance pretty wide. Have your palm open. Have your tension connect to the energy of the universe. So in relationship to you, that energy is very expansive and yang. And your backhand is going to be behind you with your palm down. And have your palm connect to, compared to you, the very yin, dense, thick, nourishing energy of the earth. So then you're going to shift your weight to the center. Well, it's like you're going to do a backstroke. So you start to come back. So now you're looking forward. So we can start slow as you feel into this movement. So center. And then as you shift, front palm connect to the heavens, back palm connect to the earth. Connecting heaven and earth, which is us. And then play in to tapping into that effortless effort. Releasing your jaw. Letting your pelvic floor ground you, connecting you to the earth. And you can, breathing is natural. I find I like to inhale and exhale, but notice which kind of, if a breathing pattern at all is something you're drawn to. Just keeping your shoulders soft, your elbows soft. Shifting your weight, letting your gaze look at your hands. Now, remember when we had our last movement, we were listening to how we're shifting our weight. So as you shift, push, right? Push off as you root to the earth. And just notice how that feels, how that changes the movement. Forgetting about your arms, letting them just do their thing. Now back to without putting awareness into how you're shifting your weight. Now, shift to your empty leg, pulling you over. Let your empty leg pull. Just invite that kind of sliding and gliding as your weight shifts. And then shake out your arms. Do a little wiggle. And then let's do a little bounce. Exploring what it's like to do a really shallow little bounce or a slow, deep bounce, playing around with sort of yin and yang and balance. Breathing in through your nose and out your mouth with a contented sigh. Ah. Maybe a smile. Ah. And let's do one more. Ah. And then floating your palms up and floating them down. And let's end with stroking the waterfall at sunrise. Putting your awareness in the back of your hands as you float up. And then your palms as you sink. Inhaling as you stand taller. And exhale, realizing that right here we've got kind of the yang of the standing taller and the yin of the sinking. Picture the back of your palms just going up a waterfall of light. And now let your palms just glide down that waterfall of light. So then part 2 of stroking the waterfall at sunrise is to float your palms up. Let your palms, again, connect to that, compared to you, yin energy. Now take your thumbs and just rotate them back. Now your palms are facing the heavens. And let your heavens connect. Let your palms connect to the expansive energy of the universe. Expansive compared to your energy. Combine the earth and the heavens and just bring that waterfall of light all through your body. So inhale, float your palms up. Exhale, just rotate so your thumbs are now facing back. Inhale, float overhead. Exhale, waterfall of light. So connecting to the yin of the earth. Thumbs go backwards. Now palms are facing the heavens. Connect to the yang of the heavens and bring yin and yang in balance all through your body. As we stroke the waterfall at sunrise. And let's do one more. Pulling up the yin, connecting to the yang above, bringing yin and yang in balance, filling your whole body, bringing that energy to your lower belly. Bring your feet close together. Stir in that chi. And take a slow, deep breath so your belly just expands into your hands. And a slow breath out. And gliding your hands up to your heart. Feel the warmth of your palms on your heart. Give a rub. And with a gentle bow, give gratitude for all that you have. And give gratitude for all that you are. And then sharing a little bit of this energy that you've been cultivating. Blow it into your palms, sending it out to someone you want to share it with. Hold it between your palms. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, release it. And thank you.